Unit Audio Revisitation. Open the box.
Poor Josh.
It is your worst fears realized. Yeah.
I like the fact that they tied it into that we get to see just how traumatizing that was for him. That whole Nestine thing was for him.
Yeah, I think it would be.
That really fucked him up, dude.
Yeah, everybody got a little, got hit a little bit, but,
But I mean, just the fact that we get to see just how much it messed him up. Not the being hit by the fear thing. The how traumatized he was by the being turned into an auton.
being plasticked.
Yeah.
Being turned into a Ken doll.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he was turned into... There's some other things implied by a Ken doll, but
Yeah.
which we cannot confirm that actually occurred. Um,
Well, there's only one way to find out.
I'll let Osgood find that one out. We'll leave that for her.
yes, and it would have to be some sort of, given her proclivities, it would probably have to end up being some sort of accident with a chemical spill or, an accidental, teleportation incident.
Yeah, just wrong place, very wrong time.
Yes, or, one way or the other, like, they're testing a teleporter and it forgets the close. It's like, aww. And then, oh, well, it didn't turn you completely into a Ken doll, did it? Port back. uh, yeah, it would have to be something like that, given what you've told us about her canon proclivities. I don't know why I like that bird.
And I realized that just makes me more of an Osgood. Her needing to be useful. And that fear of
Yes.
not being good enough.
Well, and when one of your, your pride. I mean, she doesn't have, she doesn't have athleticism. She's not athletic. She's got the asthma problem. She's not, terribly coordinated, but she is, her power, her ability is her mind. That's her strength. And that taken away from her, if that's what she thinks is her only strength, feel pretty garbage.
Yeah. And disappointing the people that you look up to is another big deal about that.
Yes.
Another part of it is not living up to what she thinks is her expectation.
Yeah. And she also has, it's also her ability to save her her friends, because she can do that if if her mind is working properly. She can, that's her gun. Where the soldiers and the those types in in the unit you know structure, their job is to save people with guns. Hers is to save people with their mind, and so it's just like being disarmed.
And I love the what, super brain not work for you?
Hmm.
Wait, really? It's a valid concern. And Kate is losing her people.
Yeah, that's as a leader.
You're a
That's
leader,
one
I
of the
would. Uh,
yeah, that is the worst. Leader, a commanding officer, you send them into danger. You know that's gotta weigh heavily on you.
Especially especially with those two, since she's kind of a mama bear to them.
Mm-hmm.
So she losing them because of something she said or did is just the worst possible thing. Or should I say, the worst possible thing. Hello?
yeah.
Oh, it just suddenly went quiet.
Yeah. I was letting you finish, but but
And I have not seen the episode that she was in, but that apparently is canon from a classic Doctor story.
Yeah, I figured as such. It was either they made it, there's two options. They made it up but it's within reason, or more likely on most occasions, if they're going to bring somebody in, they go, okay, we've got like 50 years of history to pull from. Let's do
She
that.
actually is the same person who played the character in the episode
That
in the
must be
classic.
one hell of a call up. Yeah, you remember
Yeah.
you were in Doctor Who like a really long time ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want you to play that same character, but older. Okay.
Well, I've done it before. Although when they did it before, the characters were like main characters. They brought back Benton and Yates and Joe. What? Hold on. What? Why did it hang up? Okay, it didn't hang up.
No, we were waiting on whatever
Yeah.
was going on in the background to finish. But yeah, it was very what was I say? Fudge. It was very something you see a lot. You're like, okay, well, how are we going to show the worst fears of these characters? It's interesting character development, you can do in science fiction and fantasy. It's like we're going to. It's almost to the point of cliche. It's like, yes, I will show you the audience exactly what you fear so that we get more character development. Whoo! I would love to hear that just once. Just, the
Yeah,
the
but I mean,
the fearmancer is also fourth wall aware, has comic awareness and goes, "Oh yes, it'd be nice character development." What are you talking about character development? We're people. Yes.
In a TV show.
People. Real
they have
people.
character.
What?
People can say they have character.
Well, in the fact in well,
And
in
people
the
can
context of this will be character development, for the show or something like that, for the audience. It's like, what audience?
true.
Something like anything like that where it just makes it obvious that the fear manipulator is clearly aware of what he's doing, knows he's going to be defeated in the end, but in the middle he's going to be doing a lot of character development, showing people exactly what's what's going down. It's like, yep. Oh, would my phone be quiet? It'll only beep once. I don't need to go to the trouble of, actually turning it off. Okay, if you're gonna be a jerk like that, I'm gonna turn you down.
And they threw in the mention of the alternate universe again. Like-
gotta love that.
We already are our best selves. I mean, we saw our worst selves. We can't be worse than that, right? Although his worst self wasn't really that bad. I mean, alternate Josh was an idiot, but he wasn't really that malicious. Alternate Osgood was horrible, but
Yeah.
alternate Josh was not bad. He was just very misguided, and for the most part,
Yeah.
he just, he wanted to protect his girl. His girl who was a psychopathic manipulator, but it was because he loved her.
But she was his psychopathic manipulator.
Exactly. And so, I mean, his worst self was not a bad person, really. Especially considering the world he came from.
Yeah.
So, I mean, saying that he's already seen his worst self, I have a feeling there's some other dimension where he's even worse.
Yeah, there's
What about the dimension where everybody's just meh? Like there's nothing special, just meh.
You mean Starlight's dimension?
I guess.
references.
Of course. Everyone loves a good reference.
Yeah, it was for the most part a fairly straightforward mind messing with episode. It's like, yes, this thing feeds off of your negative emotions or something, and then it also can
Here.
proc those things. So, it's like, and the fact the ending was a little weird, like the mirror business, but I guess it's one way to take care of it without actually having to, call in an airstrike.
Although I have to say that's not really accurate because you know how many sociopaths and psychopaths are narcissists? So evil can stand seeing itself.
Yeah. In fact, yeah. If they're narcissistic, that's all they want to do is look at themselves instead of run away from it.
Exactly.
But
And
given that it's a being that works off of fear, you know, must
although
fear
that in
itself,
makes
and so when it
it's kind of like when you're starving yourself and your stomach starts eating itself.
Self-cannibalism, literally.
Yeah, although not quite the same thing as actual self-cannibalism. But if you starve yourself for too long, your stomach begins to eat itself. And that's how things like ulcers form. Well, one of the ways. Either that or he just didn't like his own taste.
Eh.
anyway, this thing with this episode is it wasn't particularly rich. I mean, lots of interesting little character bits, but complex it was not really.
Yeah, it wasn't much to talk about on this one.
Yeah, but it was the last in the revisitation disc.
No,
Yeah.
it's more.
That's okay. I do have. I mean, there is a whole nother unit to we can listen to.
Cool.
It's classic unit.
Oh
I mean, it doesn't have Benton because it doesn't have Benton and Yates because it's not that classic, but it does have the Brigadier. It's from
Oh,
5. It even has David Tennant, not as the Doctor.
Oh, wow.
The Doctor.
This.
Before he was the Doctor, he was he was
Nameless
Sergeant.
Grunt number 5.
No, he was actually I think Major Birmingham. He was one of the higher ups in unit.
Now I could just headcanon that back as 10 was playing around.
Could do.
Yes. Oh no, I'm not a Time Lord. No, I'm not the Doctor. Don't look at that blue box.
Scottish accent is totally real.
No, you look like a lot like the Doctor that you know that was married to you know Elizabeth in that painting we have. Oh, he must look like me. He must have taken from me, or I don't have a very special face, so. Anyway, I don't. What?
Looks like the Doctor though.
Well, any final thoughts on this one?
Well, I mean, it was bound to happen. Every series ends up having any sci-fi series ends up having a Face Your Fears episode.
Yes.
And I mean, their fears were valid and made sense. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad episode. It's just not the best one of the set.
Alrighty then.